Now, allow me to introduce our moderator for this morning. Ladies and gentlemen, she is currently leading privacy compliance at Celcom Digi, previously a CXO apprentice to the Chief Corporate Affairs Officer. She currently advises on protection matters, oversees privacy risks, and conduct trainings on privacy awareness across the organizations. She is also an advocate for education equity, youth empowerment, and online safety. Our first moderator for this morning, please give it up for Puan Nur Yasmin Murtaza, Senior Privacy Specialist of Celcom Digi. Kita persilakan. Boleh saya dengarkan tepukan yang paling gemuruh untuk moderator pertama kita. And allow me to invite our panelists for the morning, Assistant Professor Dr. Suhardi Maulan from International Islamic University Malaysia. Kita berikan tepukan yang paling gemuruh. Our next speaker as well, allow me to invite, kita berikan tepukan gemuruh juga, Associate Professor Dr. Chin Mui Yin from Tunku Abdul Rahman University of Management and Technology. And our third panelist, our third speaker, please give it up for Professor Dr. Alyani Ismail from University Putra Malaysia. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the first topic for the morning, promoting awareness in a digital society. Puan Nur Yasmin Murtaza, the floor is now yours. Saya persilakan.
Thank you, MC. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to track 1 for today's symposium. I'm Yasmin, and I'll be your moderator for today. So, in an effort to build a digital society, today we are joined by a panel of amazing ladies to share their research in this area. So, I'd like to welcome Assistant Professor Dr. Suhardi Maulan from IIUM. She has more than 20 years of experience in teaching, and her research interests are in areas related to Islamic marketing and branding. She will be presenting on the topic of exploration and identification of MCMC brand health amongst the industry and public sector.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Thank you, Ms. Moderator, all the MCMC secretariats, researchers from other universities, guests from industries and telcos, friends from media, okay, and ladies and gentlemen. Okay, I'm Dr. Suhardi from International Islamic University. I'm going to share with you our findings on this topic. Yeah. Exploration and identification of MCMC brand health amongst industry and public sector. Okay, and these are my research team. Yeah? All right. Okay. All right. Excuse me. All right. Okay, actually, first I would like to congratulate MCMC. Our research is being sponsored by Strategic Communication Department, okay, in which I believe is a brave effort actually to embark into this topic, because you are asking people what is your opinion about your brand, right? So it's not easy. I believe that to read the findings also, hopefully we'll get insights, we'll give insights for MCMC to perform better. I'm not saying that it's not good at the moment, but of course we can improve from time to time. Okay, so as the introduction, all right, the aim of this research is basically to explore, okay, the brand health among the stakeholders, right? In which we know that MCMC is one of the main regulators of our communication and multimedia industries. Okay, and to achieve the strategic national objective, like we know that Malaysia want to transform our country into a high-income nation, okay, a digital economy, yeah, but we need actually cooperation, yeah, from various stakeholders to make it happen. Yeah, you need the cooperation from the industry players, for example, okay, other government agencies, yeah, which help MCMC to probably on enforcement matter, okay, and also definitely the public. Yeah? And we know that currently the social media, for example, okay, make it very challenging, I believe, for MC to cater on many issues, right? Okay, so basically, okay, how we embark on this study, all right? There are two studies, basically, okay, because we want to look into the perception of stakeholders, which we divide into industry players and also public sectors. Yeah? So for this, the first objective, yeah, is basically we conduct using qualitative studies. Okay? We use in-depth interviews, and due to the time and whatnot, we select only 10 informants, yeah? 5 industry players and 5 public agencies, in which actually we got the list name from MCMC, those divisions who actually interact a lot, yeah, with MCMC. Yeah? Of course, we go through the procedures like setting appointments, yeah? Give consent letter and whatnot. Okay? And 5 from industries is basically including telcos in Malaysia and also postal and courier industry. And for the public agencies, it's a mix-up between, for example, like LEAs, other LEAs like PDRM, for example. Okay, we introduce also Bank Negara, Jakim, yeah? Those we can reach within the time given. And for the quantitative study, the second one is to get some insights from the public, okay, in which we go by quantitative study. Okay, so we conduct survey, we get help from MCMC to put the link in the Facebook, right? At the same time, we share with friends and whatnot. And we have one filtering question, basically, to make sure that you qualified as a respondent. And maybe, I don't know, some of you was the respondent last time. Yeah, thank you for that. Okay, so the filtering question is the respondent must know. Okay, MCMC must aware of MCMC, then only they can proceed with the questions. And we got 424 yeah, answers for respondents valid to be analyzed. Okay, so I go straight to the key findings for the study one, all right? So we use basically brand equity theory and also legitimacy theory because brand equity is actually one of the measure, okay, to monitor a brand health. Yeah? Normally when we talk about branding, we normally say, oh, what comes to your mind? Or maybe all the business, right? Coca-Cola, McDonald's, yeah? But actually there is a line of research, okay, which start to look into public branding, yeah? Meaning that even if you are a public organization, branding also actually important. Yeah? So this is what we call as public branding literatures. And basically the theory that we are using on brand equity is the established theory in which actually try to frame, yeah, our research. And in this research, we define brand equity as the support, yeah, support of stakeholders towards MCMC. Okay, so the initial, okay, according to the literatures, yeah, we have brand association, brand value, legitimacy, and satisfaction. Okay, but then after the interviews, we found that there are lots of other dimensions, okay, to get supports from the stakeholders, yeah, from the industry and also the government, other public agencies, which include brand relationship, organizational leadership, okay, shared mission, okay, facilitation and engagement, and also brand collaboration. Okay, so actually all this from the interviews we transcribe and we come with the teams. Yeah, we come with the teams. So these are the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, 9 teams, yeah, that we managed to get, right? I may not be able to actually describe each and everything in detail. I think MCMC will share the full report with the audience, and the explanation is actually there. All right. Okay, in terms of one element, which is brand association, all right, this we take from the words that we get from the interviews, yeah, in which I put like at the left side, like compliance-driven, authoritative, reactive, business as usual, very strict master, okay. So I think it's something which was not really surprising because MCMC is a regulated licensor. Yeah? So these are the words, yeah, that come to the informer's mind, yeah, and these are how they perceive, yeah, the brand. But at the same time, we can see lots of words like friendly, facilitative, approachable, okay, responsive, easy to collaborate, trustworthy, supportive, yeah, willing to learn, and so on. Yeah? So these are the words that being associated, okay, by the informers. Actually, it depends on who the informers are, yeah? Whether you are from, what do you call it, public or government agencies, or from the industry players. Okay, these are the gaps. This recommendation is from the interviewer. It's from the informers, not from us. Yeah? Our is at the conclusion. Okay, so the gaps and also the recommendations that we again team the answers is on the brand leadership, because we know that leadership is very important for you to execute and implement, yeah, the policies and whatnot. You can have something good on paper, but we need the leadership view. Okay, collaboration, engagement, and consultation. There are at the moment, but on certain matters they request more. Okay, on regulatory effectiveness, okay, which actually related to the revision of CMA 1998, because most of them feel that it's quite a long time ago, in which our industry is very different. We don't have WhatsApp, we don't have all the social media thing. So it reduced the effectiveness of regulator, because we know that those players are not in Malaysia. Yeah? So for example, like Telco, they just provide the line, but whatever we put in the WhatsApp, Facebook is actually not their responsibilities. Yeah? So it gives the challenge to MCMC for enforcement, for example. Yeah? So one of the recommendations is to revise the Act. Okay? Data management, sharing, and analytics. Okay? Lots of data actually being compiled here at the moment in this hall. Okay? So if data can be shared, of course it's shared, but the thing is how we use the data to come up with, for example, sectoral development and innovation. Okay? One of the recommendations here. Yeah? Okay, talent management, this is more on the succession planning. And of course, as a government agency, some issues on political intervention. Okay, we know that we change government a few times, right? Okay, so yeah, that probably will affect as well in the direction and balanced approach. Because I noticed that being a regulator at the same time facilitator is challenging for MCMC. At one point, you want to satisfy these stakeholders. At another point, you want to, satisfy another stakeholders between the foreign investors, between the local players. Yeah. So that is among the recommendations. Okay, for study 2, this is quantitative. So I just shared some of the findings only, right? So from the 4 to 4 respondents, we get 65% female, okay, 35% male, and then the majority is 31% in terms of age, yeah, 31 to 40, yeah, 31 to 40. And then majority for the education level is degree, right, which is 57. And then majority is from private sector, which is 56. And in terms of region, majority is from Selangor, KL. Okay, but we do actually get response from Sabah, Sarawak. Right? Maybe the percentage is not that high, but we try to get response from other states as well. Okay, so there are a few questions actually, but we only focus on the perceptions towards MCMC, in which, in terms of social media, we know that MCMC have Facebook, Instagram. Yeah? I hope you have subscribed to that. Okay, so the highest is Facebook, right? followed by the website and Instagram. Yeah. But in terms of how they know about MCMC news initiative, you can see that the second highest choice is television. Meaning that television is still effective, especially of the government campaign and whatnot. They still because sometimes for us as the netizen, right? Also, we when we want to validate things, right? We sometimes go to many sources. So television is one of the highest, followed by website, Instagram, and also radio. The sixth one. Okay, in terms of awareness, we list whatever initiative that MCMC have, and it seems that the highest awareness or initiative that the public aware is KDB, Klik Dengan Bijak, and also sebenarnya, which is very good, because this is something on fake news, right? So the continuous campaign on this is to some extent effective. People know about this initiative. The third one is the DELA, and then we have MEDI, we have MIV, and so on. Right? And in terms of complaint to MCMC, only 14% say yes. But a majority, 77%, say that they don't lodge any complaint, never lodge any complaint, and even 9% say they don't know that they can complain to MCMC. Maybe actually for the public, we don't actually deal directly with MCMC. For example, if we have any problem with our line, we don't go to MCMC, basically we go to the telco, right? We go to Maxis, we go to Cellcom, so we can directly complain to the brand, to the company. Okay, this one is actually some of the construct, we call it as Rados, which it follows the framework just now. I arranged the highest one, which is brand legitimacy. It's more on the importance of MCMC. So it got the highest score. They agree that MCMC is very important for industry. We got 3.8, and these are the mean. And then the brand value is basically the benefits, benefits that MCMC bring to the society, to the businesses, and so on. The second highest, 3.7. On brand awareness is 3.7. Maybe because the first filtering question just now is, are you aware or not of the brand? Association is the fourth, 3.6, satisfaction 3.5, and the support itself is 3.8. Okay, right. So these are the recommendations from the study too. Okay, more brand communications. Okay, they give recommendation on connectivity, inclusivity, regulatory efficiency. Ini more on spam problem lah, scam mostly. How to complain, and then political intervention, collaboration, and R&D. Right, and these are our recommendations from both studies. Okay, first, of course, we realized that MCMC done many good initiatives, but we need to do more brand communication and promotion. Of course, it depends on the target market lah. Not everybody that we can actually reach, definitely, but that's why we probably have to identify who's our target market, and then probably we can find the influencers kan. Zaman sekarang ni, we use influencers like TikTok and everything. Maybe certain campaign can embark on that. Okay, and increase collaborative effort, the revision of statutory just now, the enforcement issues, facilitation and engagement for industry growth, and also the taxation planning as well. Okay, so these are my conclusion. Right. So I think that's all from us. Thank you. Assalamualaikum.
Thank you. We will move on for the next speaker. Any questions, we'll take it after the last speaker has presented on their topic, where we will do a quick panel session and take on your questions. For now, I'd like to welcome Associate Professor Dr. Chin Hui Yin from UTA. She has published many papers and led research teams for consultancy projects. She will be presenting on the topic of practice of network content self-regulation among Malaysian users. Please give her a warm up.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, and good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm happy to be here to share our research team research output on the topic practice of network content self-regulation amongst Malaysian users. This is a project granted by MCMC. All right, and in order to complete everything within 15 minutes, I would like to start my presentation now. All right, so first of all, we would like to look at the problem statements. Why we need to do this research is because of, number one, okay, Malaysia and authorized authorities have established an authorized content forum in order to create a content code for imposing self-regulation standards on the network content. And this content could serve as the guiding principles for content creators in managing their content better. And of course, we understand that the industry players were the early adopters of the content code. However, we realize that there has been not a strong awareness of the content code among the public, especially the media users as well. As a result, it is important for us to tackle this problem, and therefore our research divided into 5 research objectives using 3 methods, which is the focus group discussion, questionnaire distribution, as well as the short video competition. For research objective 1, 2, and 5, namely to identify the extent and nature of the self-regulation when users are accessing, consuming, and sharing the network content for themselves and family members, as well as research objective 2, which is to categorize the elements incorporated by users when self-regulating, mediating, or controlling the use of network media contents, as well as the 5th one, which is to capture the user's expectation, their readiness, as well as the views on being the subject to the content codes. We use 2 methods, which is the focus group discussion as well as the questionnaire distribution. Whereas, in order to achieve our research objective number 3 and 4, which is to raise the awareness on the use of the research content code, and also to provide an entry point for the user to learn about the content code, we use a short video competition. So now we proceed to look at what is the method that we use for each of everyone. All right, so the first method is the focus group discussion. We divide the discussants into 2 different groups. One is the professional groups, another group would be the non-professional group. The professional groups are the staff from the multimedia industry, City Plus FM radio station, whereas for the non-professional group, we invited the academic staff as well as the administration staff from TAUMT. All right, and the focus group discussants were asked to complete the questionnaire, which served as a pre-test in order for us to check the complexity of the questionnaire and to ensure that the question were understandable by the respondents later on, and also it is adequate to achieve our research objective. Besides, we also request our discussants to express their thoughts and also their comments in depth. Next, we are having questionnaire distribution. So our questionnaire is a multiple choice questionnaire, and it is divided into 3 sections. And for the first section, we would like to know about the social demographic factors. All right, and the second section is for us to understand the perception as well as the respondents' understanding of the respondents regarding the content codes. And also, what is important for us is to gauge the expectation, the readiness, as well as the views of the respondents regarding the content code. And to enhance the readability of the content, the questionnaire will designed in 3 languages, Malay, English, as well as Chinese. And due to the ethical concern, only those above 18 years old are allowed to participate in this survey. And the questionnaire distribution cover all states in Malaysia, including West and also East Malaysia. And the respondents were randomly selected as long as they are above 18 years old and they are Malaysians. And the questionnaire was distributed from August 2022 until December 31st, 2022. Next, you can look at the content code. Alright, so for the content code in total, they have the 10 parts. And we're only focusing on part 2 because part 2 are focusing on the 10 categories of the content code. Alright, so this is our main focus. Alright. Okay, and the third one is a short video competition. Alright, and I think this is fun, especially for the young adults. Alright, so this competition is aimed to achieve our second and third objective, which is to raise the awareness of the use of the content code and also serve as the entry point for the users to learn about the content code. So this competition theme is awareness and use of the content code 2022, and this is our flyer. And the participants were asked to create their video by referring to the content code 2022 released by CMCF. And this short video competition was open to all students in Malaysia, all university students in Malaysia, and the competition duration is 2 months. All right. So now we proceed to our finding. So finding number 1 is from our focus group discussion. All right. So in fact, regardless whether they are from professional group or non-professional group, most of the thoughts and comments are similar except one, which is for the discussant from multimedia industry, they are well aware of the content code. On the other hand, for the non-professional group, all right, they're aware of the assistance only of the content code, but they do not know what the requirement is, and they have no interest to read it or understand it in detail. All right, this is the only difference among the discussants that we interview. All right, on the other hand, regardless they are from the professional or non-professional category, as long as they are parents, they are very concerned on the negative impacts of the prohibited content on their children, and also hope that the content could introduce as early as possible. On the other hand, if they are not parents, they found that in fact the prohibited content only have the minimum impact on the children or on themselves. All right, and they think that introducing it in the too young age is actually have no impact because the children might not have the maturity mind to understand it. All right. Besides, both categories of discussion found that the best way of introducing the content code or publicize the content code is through the KOL. All right, and they disagree that a strict punishment to solve the problem. Okay, if the content is prohibited, instead they think that education and escalating warning would be a better way. And lastly, all of them agree that the content code was important and effective in helping and enhancing the positive values and also the harmony in our Malaysian society. Okay, next we proceed to the questionnaire. Okay, the findings from our questionnaire. All right, so you can see that our samples are across Malaysia, different states, and also different races, as well as different education attainment level. Okay, and based on what we actually want to focus is the question. The main question is whether the respondents are aware that there is a content code issued by CMCF, which every viewer as well as the content user should comply with it. Okay, and the respondents' answer is yes, 24.4%. And majority of them also mentioned yes, they understand that the existence of this and understand a little bit but not in detail. And only 17.6% of the respondents do not know there is a thing called content code. All right. And next, we are also asking them whether they are aware that these 10 content codes are available. All right. Unfortunately, actually, more than 50% of our respondents do not aware that children, family value, as well as a person with disabilities are also the categories of the content code. All right. So from there, we can actually gauge that the public understanding on content code is still lacking, and they have a big room for improvement. Okay, next, from the questionnaire that we distributed, we would like to evaluate the perception as well as the understanding of the respondents regarding the content code, the definition of specific terminologies based on the definition in the content code 2022. So for this, we're actually like giving a test to our respondents. All right, we have questions to them, they need to answer. We have different definitions. Some definitions are correct and some definitions are wrong, and they have to answer the question. If they choose the wrong definition, it implies that they do not understand the content deeply or clearly. And based on the answers given by the respondents, we actually found that although the blue bar showed that they answered the question correctly and it's majority correct, but we cannot ignore the significance of the wrong answer. So the significance of the wrong answer, okay, implies that the respondent actually not really understand the content code. They answer based on their general knowledge. All right, and this is why it leads to a wrong answer or the incorrect content selection. So besides that, from the respondents, they found that the best way to actually introduce the content code is through education, followed by the collaboration with the service providers, campaigns, and lastly is the KOL. And 71.4% of the respondents found that CMCF should warn those violating the content code creators, all right, instead of punishing them. And then majority of them, which is 7.1%, agree that content code is important in enhancing the positive values and the harmony in the society. All right, and for the short video competition, all right, because of the time constraint, okay, so what I want to stress here is that, okay, the video that they provided actually always using the simple words as well as the simple faces, all right, and then they demonstrate the needs of avoid certain content. And we believe that these are the correct way, and this is the way that we should actually create the awareness of the content code. Use the simple words, simple faces, and also demonstrate the need of avoiding certain content. All right, so here is our recommendation. So we understand that individuals, laymen without any background knowledge concerning the communication and the multimedia industry of law, shall find it is very hard to understand the technical language of the content code. We also understand that media industry itself is a complicated and comprises different categories of media. So it is very challenging if we ask the content code to be simplified. And if it's simplified, it might be challenging to make it relevant to the industry. Therefore, we recommend that it should be a different set of content code be issued for the media users. In a nutshell, one content code for media user, another content code for industry players. And also, awareness about the content code among the media users can be achieved through education, campaigns, and collaboration with the content application service providers. So with that, thank you for your attention. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Nguyen. Very well articulated presentation. For our final speaker today, please welcome Professor Dr. Aliani Ismail from UVM. Her expertise lies in microwave engineering, and she was recently awarded as the top research scientist Malaysia 2022. She will be presenting on the topic of public perception on electromagnetic field emissions from 5G radio communication infrastructure and consumer premise equipment in Malaysia.
Thank you, Yasmin, my fellow speakers today. Ladies and gentlemen, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good morning. Salam sejahtera. My name is Alian Ismail from University Putra Malaysia, and I'm glad to be here to be presenting our DSRG Cycle 2 2022 project, which is on the public perception on electromagnetic field, EMF emissions from 5G radio communication infrastructure and consumer premise equipment, CPE in Malaysia. The topic is long, the title is long, therefore we give a short name to it, which is emphasize. That's how you pronounce it, emphasize. My colleagues, my co-researchers are here today. Professor Engineer Dr. Adwati Sadi over there. Thank you for coming. Associate Professor Dr. Akmal Hayati Ahmad Ghazali. She is our media literacy expert because all of us are from engineering background. Dr. Nadia Hussaini Zainul Abidin from UPM as well, my colleague from the same department, and Associate Professor Datin Dr. Nurul Adila Abdul Latif from UMT, our co-researcher who couldn't attend today. Right, everybody knows about 5G. 5G has come to us. Many of the operators has offered subscriptions to 5G. How many of you has already subscribed to 5G? Raise your hand. Hey, congratulations, not many in the room. Congratulations, by the way, but make sure you get 5G signals in the room, because we were promised that Putrajaya is one of the pioneer 5G city to enjoy the technology. And assumptions have been made throughout the years that many Malaysians are against 5G. These are only assumptions. We do not know how many is many. So this is one of the research issues that we gather. We want to know how many is many. Is it true it is many? And some of them perceive 5G radiation as harmful. Perhaps that is one of the reasons that you did not subscribe to 5G. And Malaysian public perception has been shaped over the years by information available in social media, existing of fake news and misinformation sources, especially during COVID-19. And this might influence the thinking and behavior of readers. So therefore, we have come up with 4 research questions. At what level do Malaysian public perceive the health effects of EMF? Why health effect? I will tell you later on. And how far does the Malaysian public understand the implications of the 5G base station and devices presented at their vicinity? Our mobile phone is one of CPEs. Where does the Malaysian public get information on 5G EMF radiation? This is regarding the media. And also, what are ways to increase public trust in the safety of 5G EMF radiation? In corresponding to the research problems questions, we have come up with 4 research objectives to gauge public's perception in Malaysia of the health effects specifically of 5G EMF emissions, and to identify the sources of EMF information referenced by our public and how these are contributing to the perception, and also to measure the level of public understanding. How about the knowledge that our public are having regarding base stations and CPEs in their vicinity, and to also provide recommendations at the end of the day for building public trust in the safety of 5G network, base station and CPE. So the methodology adopted in this project, firstly, the nature of study are cross-sectional, and it is quantitative survey with deductive reasoning. Deductive reasoning means from the quantitative data that we have got, we make sense of the numbers. I am communication engineer by training, wireless communications. We have done a lot of 5G projects in technical and engineering, and it is a pleasure for us to do research in social science area as well, and work together with social scientists. Population and sampling, we use Craig-Morgan random sampling, and we targeted 400 respondents from all over all over the country, and data collection are using online Google form and distribution to email and social media. Thank you MCMC for publicizing our survey. And I would like to personally thank Soya Chin Chow for voluntarily picking up our survey and publish in their platforms. Thank you, Soya Chin Chow. And survey, and I have to mention that after Soya Chin Chow published this survey, a call for participation in their website and social media platforms, we have got a higher number of respondents. There are 6 sections in the survey, and we will make understood by the research enterprise team that this is one of the longest questionnaire. 48 questions, including comments and suggestions. So I believe some of you are our respondents. Thank you very much for filling in the form, the long form. Yeah? Thank you very much. The conceptual framework that we have developed, we want to see number 1, public understanding. These are regarding the media and also health-related characteristics in terms of knowledge, trust, and attitude, and how the degree of perception in health risk of PMF emission for us to come up with the recommendation. The demography of our respondents consisting of 410, surpassing the minimum number of respondents that we want from 15 residential states. Why 15? Because we separated wilayah persekutuan, Labuan and also Putrajaya, because Putrajaya is one of the pioneer states receiving 5G. And top residential states are coming from Selangor, and then in the rest from Putrajaya, Johor, Terengganu, Pahang, and also Penang. We have received respondents for all states, so it is well represented. Surprisingly, male has spent time to answer the questionnaire. 48 answers. Male, I'm talking about male. Nothing against male, but traditionally, it is very difficult to get male to be responding to the 48 questions. A level of education ranging from secondary school to PhD, you can see there. Employment from the biggest portion from the private sectors. And monthly household income, the biggest one from B40, and also employment. Concerns around 5G, there are some assumptions being made. Is it true that Malaysians are against 5G because of health concerns? So these answers, the result answers that it is true. It is confirmed that 69.4% of our population agree that health concerns is the biggest concern that they have for 5G. This is followed by too expensive, the cost issue. So telcos are here. Telcos, please take note. The people are talking about cost. The people are worried about cost. And 37.5% worried about environment. Top 3 of the concerns. In fact, this is quite surprising to see that our people the country, the public, are worried about environment more than anything else. Connectivity not stable, cause more social problems, drain phone batteries, so hardware issues, interfere with other technology, not secure, house value will drop. This is one of the complaints that MCMC has received for the past few years. People are concerned that if you put 5G infrastructure on their land, nearby, or the house value will drop, and other concerns as well. So top two concerns, again, health concerns, high cost and effect to the environment. We are Asian country, but we think like European countries. France, similar trends were found in France, where health has been #1 concern, environment 58%, and also in the UK. However, Malaysians' concern on health risks are higher compared to both countries. But this is saying this in China and India, the trend is different. The trend is saying that the concerns are higher, much higher on the cost. So we think like Europe, we care more about our environment and also health. So we test respondents' objective knowledge in 5G emissions. There are 6 questions given to the public. I have received feedback saying that only engineers can answer this. But these are all basic questions regarding how far do you understand EMF emission for the infrastructure and also for CPEs. So question number 1, as more people use mobile phones, base station will have to be increasing in terms of numbers to cater for more users. This is true. 80.2% of our public members got this correct. This is one of the highest, the most correct answer. Question number 2, the nearer a person to a base station, the more the EMF exposure the person will receive. And this is true as well. 73.4% has got this correct. Number 3, when receiving a call closer to base station, the magnitude of EMF emission emitted from the station decreases. You can see the results there. More correct answer than, more wrong answer than the correct answer. Number 3. Number 4, specialized protective mobile phone cover exists that could effectively reduce exposures to EMF emission. This is false. This is true, and so many people have got it wrong. So people are not aware of the specialized, cover that could effectively work as a shield for EMF emission. Number 5, less EMF emission are emitted from a mobile phone in an area where there is a better reception. So many people have got it incorrect, incorrect answers. And number 6, if a hands-free mobile phone kit like Bluetooth connected to earphone, for example, the level of EMF emission absorbed by a brain tissue can be reduced. So actually it is true, but so many people have got it wrong, and you can see the red ones here. Number 4, number 1 have got it, the highest number of correct answers, and number 4 has the highest number of incorrect answers. So from that knowledge questions, we developed a mean score, values as a reference, and 59.8% of our respondents have got at least 3 questions right, and 40.2% has got it wrong. So based on that, we will say that we have quite a high number of correct answers. But again, this is only 6 questions. If it's more, then it's going to be 60 questions in our survey. There are aspects in which the public are lacking in terms of knowledge on EMF shielding, Bluetooth, the use of Bluetooth, and also EMF emission. In Korea, similar questions were asked, but there are 13 questions, 13. We only accept 6. So in Korea, it was 49.10% high and 50.5% low knowledge. So we can say that we are similar, but 1 minute and more. Okay, I'm going to be very fast now. Attitude related to EMF emission, quite worryingly, 46.3% charge mobile phone nearby when we sleep. This is worrying to us. And usual mobile phone apps being used are online, social media. We have highest number of 87.6% users. Perceived health risk. This is important. We have found out that the highest risk perception 5G emission can cause headache, and you can see from there we don't have to worry that people are thinking that vaccines contain 5G and also increase the spread of COVID-19. You don't have to worry, the risk perception is low. And perceived health risk related to 5G EMF radiation, simply to say that those people who have higher knowledge, we cannot say that they are worried more. They don't worry more than the others. So it is the same. But in Korea, knowledge has been, if you have high knowledge, the more concerns you are. Okay, I'm sorry that I have to ask for more time because this is important, and the rest are important as well. But now, okay, last, sources of 5G EMF emission, you can see different shapes there. People use YouTube a lot, but people don't refer to YouTube when it comes to 5G information. So YouTube has been less used to find news on 5G, but websites has been the main reference there. And I have to say that most trusted source in 5G are coming from international media. So media, please take note. Okay, and I have to say that, sorry, there is one more that I want to highlight because it is, why is it going that way? Now it is not working. Okay. Overall perceived health related risks moderate, as I mentioned just now. I want to congratulate MCMC because one of the findings that we have got saying that about 76% of the respondents agree that MCMC actually provides protection from EMF emission through policies. So congratulations, MCMC. Okay. This is considerably high, actually 76.6%. Congratulations again. So at the end of the day, what we want to see are the recommendations to be adopted by all policy makers, and we hope that from this research, more research are being done towards 5G EMF emission to increase public trust, and this is involving technical research. So please spend money on technical research, not just on perception research. So thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you for the reminder. So we'll move on to a panel session. So what I'll do is I'll ask each panelist one question and then one general question for everyone before we open to the floor. Okay, so I'll start with Dr. Suharni. So I'm not sure whether this is covered in your research, but in your opinion, how does MCMC's brand health compare to other government agencies in Malaysia?
Thank you, Mrs. Smith. Actually, this study focused only on MCMC. I don't see so far from literature review any similar study being done in other public organization, as I mentioned just now, because this is quite new in the sense that normally when we talk about branding, it's all about businesses, right? So probably this can be one of the initiatives that can be taken by the public organization to see that you can make the difference. Thank you.
Thank you. Next to Dr. Nguyen. What are the challenges and opportunities of self-regulating network content in Malaysia today?
Opportunities and the challenges. Alright, so the opportunity is that because we are having the CMCF, that we have the content code, and then now because we have a lot of platforms that they also start to actually educate the public with regards to the content code. So it actually becomes an opportunity for the Malaysian, okay, to understand the content code better. And also now we are very into TikTok and also other short video competition and so on and so forth. So because of the active participation in all these content, so it actually also become a game changer for the CMCF to actually to educate the Malaysian users so that they can actually more aware about the content code, and thereafter they will actually become more self-regulating, self-awareness. Yeah. And for the challenges, because you know, sometimes even though people are understand about it, but because of although we say that no punishment but education, but sometimes because of lack of punishment and the public might think that maybe it's okay to try. Yeah, and maybe it is okay to not to regulate it, but to see what is the impact if I don't do so. So, so it's actually more on like enforcement of the, you know, although we should not have the punishment, but I think the enforcement maybe have to tighter in terms of educate them, warning, or maybe we can have an escalating for punishment on those who actually not how to say, not follow the content code or adhere to the content code. Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor. And for Dr. Aliani, to what extent do you think that the public perception on 5G impacts the adoption rates in Malaysia?
From the research itself, I could not come with a conclusion on that particular technology adoption issue. But what we know from the questionnaires, there are issues to be addressed. If you want 5G technology adoption to be increasing on the increased momentum, then two things to be considered. Number one is how worth 5G is to the public. We can't see any worthy use cases yet for the public. Of course, we congratulate MCMC for providing use cases at the earlier part of earlier 2022, if I'm not mistaken, with use cases from telcos. Because we are part of DG team to provide use cases in AI and also VR. But how much do public believe with the current 4G plus benefits versus 5G benefits? That has not been addressed publicly yet. So perhaps if you want to have higher adoption, give a value to public in terms of the use. Why would we adopt 5G when there is no real benefits to it? I mean, in terms of general public. So that is number one. Number two, again, cost is an issue other than health. We have to look into that as well. And this perhaps could be addressed more, even though this is not part of our study, but we found out that there are concerns on the cost. So there would be conclusions from the project to be addressed. The recommendations that we provide are also looking into cost.
Thank you, Doctor. And one more question before we open to the floor. So any one of you can think up, or all three can also answer. So there are common recommendations, right, across all your studies, especially on public outreach, better education, partnerships with other stakeholders as well. So from your opinion, what would be the most effective way to improve awareness on your respective topics, given that these are areas that are under the purview of MCMC? Anyone can answer and take out first.
Okay, so for my research in terms of content code, all right, actually I think that the most effective way is actually provide a easy understanding content code and make it available in all the platforms so that maybe MCMC can collaborate with the platforms, because I believe that regardless is the young kids or the teenagers or the adult like us or the senior citizen, they will actually follow different types of platforms. So if we have a simple, using the simple words, simple phrases type of content code, all right, and make it available in all these platforms, I believe that it can be easily accessible by the public, and from there they can learn it. Instead of we have campaign, seminar, which is for them is maybe is less attractive. Thank you.
Okay, from the brand communication perspective, right, we have this what as integrated marketing communication. Okay, as what Dr. said just now, we have to use various platforms, different platforms, of course, for different things, right? Okay, because when I look into MCMC Facebook, I noticed that there's lots of information actually, but then the likes, is very few, meaning that not many actually reach the information. Yeah? So maybe because when we talk about advertising, we want people to engage more, and the comments that we receive, of course, is something which is lots of negative comments as well. Okay, but then this is where we have to actually integrate just now, identify the audience, maybe can put priority actually. Which campaign is important for us to highlight? Because if we look into a business, right, we have lots of product, but we don't have to do advertisement for each of the product, right? We are going to select which product is the killer product and whatnot. So this is actually one of the way forward. So that automatically, or because it takes time as well. Okay, so it will hopefully improve. Okay, and make people know. Okay, we have done this. Okay, so basically their opinion is more on the fact rather than emotions.
Anything to add?
To add on EMF emission effect to health, I think one of the things that we have to do now is not just saying that EMF emission is non-ionizing radiation. It is not enough to say that to the public. But what we need is more safety and awareness procedures to be involving rural people from rural areas as well, because there are so many fake and misconception theories circulating around regarding the health effects. It's not just saying that it's true, but we always also how to handle CPEs, mobile phones. People are charging mobile phones while asleep, close to them and nearby. These are all the health sectors that will be addressed in any of the government or private institutions together.
Thank you, Doctor. I think those are all great recommendations for MCMC to take on as well their future campaigns, future awareness programs across all levels, across all channels and platforms. So I would now like to open the floor to any questions. If anyone has any questions for any of our speakers, just introduce yourself and direct the question to a particular speaker. So there's one here. Do we have a mic for the... Yeah.
morning. Thank you for all the presenters for sharing. I would like to address my question to Professor Dr. Aliani. My name is Dr. Doris. I'm from University Pelansan, Malaysia. And my question is, do you have any information to share with regards to the negative impacts of EMF towards human beings based on age, especially looking at children? Because my worry is, are we looking for the future? Are we looking at the negative impact, retardation of the next generation? And also, how can we better safeguard ourselves? Because I think this is also tied up to self-regulation. And the last question is, how far is far when you're charging from our human self? Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor, for the question. Perhaps number one, I would say that regarding the health effects, there are many studies, abundance of studies of health effects, not just 5G, but also the previous G. So you should not be too afraid of 5G because they are using the same emission, the same electromagnetic wave, but we should be worried about how much power is transmitting. So that is why the standards and policies have to be there to make sure that the emission level are within limits. That's the work of the policymakers. So there are a lot. If you want to see up to date, up to now, there is no specific conclusion that we could say, because it will take a lifetime or a long time to see the effect. And the effect, for example, take cancer, for example, there is no one factor that contributes to it. So there is no conclusion saying that EMF emission actually contributes. But at the end of the day, what we want to see is that there are cases. We have that in UPM, Prof. Adwati has led the study on technical emission, EMF emission on cases where you use mobile phone for long hours. We have our study has shown that there are about 9% of the population use these social media, online video games for more than 4 hours. So that will increase the level of emission. It is not because the EMF radiation per se, but how you handle your CPEs, how you handle your mobile phones, that will have to be addressed. And the second thing, this goes to our kids as well. And regarding the question of how far, this project is not looking into that, but we have a project previously, just recently finished, on studying how far should we charge mobile phone, and we found out if using 4G or 5G, it should be 10 centimeters, at least 10 to 15 centimeters away from your body. So if you put it next to you when it is charging and you use it, so you have to measure, put a ruler, when you charge, it should be like that. So nobody will be using charge mobile phone like that. So they bring it to, but this has to be investigated more because we have EMI, electromagnetic interference, coming from the cable lines as well. So that's it.
Thank you. Any other questions from the floor? We have time for one more question. None from the floor? Okay, if there are no more questions, I think we are able to wrap up the session today. Thank you so much for your questions, and thank you so much to our panel of speakers. They've been great. Their research has been really insightful as well. Any last remarks before we close?
So last but not least, again, we thank MCMC for giving us the opportunity to carry out this research. And for this research, we really think that it is important for us to have another set of the content code using the simple words and the simple phrases for the media users, which means the public. Thank you so much. Thank you.
I would like to say thanks to MCMC, particularly Research Enterprise Department, as well as Technology Development Department, supporting our research. Thank you very much. And don't be afraid of 5G. Be afraid of how you use 5G. So thank you very much.
Okay, so thanks MCMC for the opportunity given, right, and all the help throughout the research duration to facilitate our study. As I mentioned just now, earlier on, I would congratulate MCMC for being brave, embarking into the study where you ask people to evaluate what you do, which is not easy. And hopefully in the future it should continue as because brand health need to be monitored as well. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you everyone for your attention and participation for track 1. Please stay on for the rest of the sessions later today. Thank you.
Thank you. Big hand to all ladies on stage. Thank you very much, Yasmin. Thank you very much, Dr. Suharni, Dr. Chin, and also Dr. Aliani. And can we have all the ladies who stand right in front of the stage for a quick photo op? Very insightful information we have earlier this morning from Dr. Suharni. FP is still number 1, she says. Where from Dr. Chin, do not punish, more awareness of the content code. And very interesting from Dr. Aliani, use earbuds, less EMF. The first topic. Thank you, ladies. One more round of applause for our amazing ladies on the stage. Yasmin Mostanza, Assistant Professor.